Hey everybody, this is Sam. Thought I'd go ahead and get the follow-up video to the Smock article at least shot and hopefully published today. I wished I'd done it yesterday. I didn't really have the time, weather didn't permit, but I think it would have answered a lot of the questions, comments, and discussions that I've received since posting the article, especially in some of the Discords and stuff that I'm in, where I shared it. To start off with, I'm not a writer. I'm a dude with a phone and crappy internet connection, and I'm just trying to put some information out there. Never claimed myself to be a writer, so if my writing style or the way I come across is not to your taste, that's fine. I mean, there's plenty of people I don't want to listen to too. The Smock article was not a you have to have Smocks and Smocks are elite to everything else. It's more of a let's address the misconceived notions that come from Smocks and talk about why it works for me and it works for many once you actually try it. So to start with, I didn't think I would ever like Smocks. I thought they were kind of dumb. I thought that they were heat traps. I thought they were all the things that a lot of people think as well. I spoke with the dudes at Redbeard Tactical about it because they use them. I was like, hey, I think I'd really like using them, but I think they'd suck for my area because it's hot and it's humid and everything else. He goes, oh no, you just need to look at what ones are out there because not all of them are the same. So I did. He suggested, trying just the surplus MTP ones and going from there. So I bought one and used it. I actually had some time behind it and with it and realized that it's actually going to work extremely well for me and my needs, especially in my area. So today is kind of the, hey baby girl, kind of one of the abnormal days for this time of year. It's been a lot cooler, it's been a lot wetter. Usually it's a lot hotter and more humid at this point in time in the year in my area. It's going to be that way. I think today's high is like 60, tomorrow's high is 85, and the humidity's going to be up there tomorrow. So I'll wear it tomorrow doing yard work. It's too wet to do yard work today, and I'll just kind of report back. I mean, I'm not going to have any issues with it, but I'll report back if you want me to. Anyways, the things that a lot of people don't understand, I think, is the concept behind a smock, and that's that you have equipment on you in your clothing at all times that can facilitate survival within 24 hours. So basically I can survive with my smock, and then if I have filled pants on, I have cargo pockets that I'd stuff like my E&E kit in one of them, and depending on SOP with my group, maybe my IFAC in my right thigh pocket, as well as just general pocket stuff like a Leatherman and everything else. I can between those two items survive without anything for 24 and probably extend with knowledge of the area as well as foraging and trapping and things like that if I needed to for an indefinite amount of time. The combat load or the fighting load, the LBE, is designed for that. It's designed to fight with, and that's where I think a lot of people get kind of screwed up. And I was that way myself, and I'm not saying that my method's right, but when you start tacking on a ton of stuff that's not necessary for LBE, for the intended role of going off and fighting and or defending, you start weighing yourself down with stuff that you don't necessarily have to have on your belt, around on your hips and on your shoulders. So I basically, with the smock, you can displace those things into a garment that you're wearing that's also functional, and it keeps the weight of the fighting load down. So when I ditch the ruck, if I'm in contact or if I'm going to be doing something that I know I'm going to just need to be able to maneuver better, I can ditch the ruck and I still have everything I need to complete what I need to do. The ruck is there to extend past that 24 to 48 hour time frame. Even like a patrol pack that's like a 30 or 45 liter patrol pack that can extend you for 1 or 2 days, a ruck just extends past that. So one of the issues that I've seen, I didn't really understand it, is a lot of people were commenting, or I've seen people commenting, that Smocks were not working well with belt kit. I don't really understand that because Smocks came out in the era of belt kit. I mean, if you think about it, the people who were using Smocks were the Brits were using belt kit, all of that was using tandem. I think what a lot of people run into is they run Alice style belt systems like the Jungle Rig, and then complain about how if you put stuff in your pockets it rubs on the pouches, and it absolutely does. Smocks really do shine with more of the British style belt webbing, where the pouches are just kind of at the side of your hips and then farther back. I have actually since adjusted my jungle rig to be similar to that, and it does absolutely work better. You can still use a Smock with an Alice style belt kit. You can. Just understand that these bottom pockets are not things that you're going to access readily, and that's exactly how I have it set up. Anything that we're going to access readily is going to be in the upper pockets that are exposed with the harness system. Anything in the lower pockets are things that I don't need readily or I have time to access. So for instance, I'll just go ahead and, like, I'm moving. I'm not having any interference with the pouches. Everything's fine. If I need to access the bottom pockets, I can, because my pouches are farther back, go ahead and undo the pocket, reach in there, and I keep a poncho right here. It's a full-size MTP poncho, because if I'm rucked up or if I'm walking or something like that and it's starting to rain and it's heavy enough and it looks like it's going to set in long enough that I want to actually rain cover, I don't have to ditch everything in order to access my poncho. I can just pull it out, throw it on over my pack and myself, and I'm good to go, and I can keep moving without having to take everything off. If I needed to, because I had pouches there, it's really just as simple as unhooking the belt, accessing the pouches or the pockets, and clipping the belt back in. So accessing the bottom pockets really isn't a problem. Again, as far as interface with pouches, that's going to be belt setup specific. You may want to keep flatter and lighter and lower bulk items in the lower pockets. The top pockets are really more for the more immediate access stuff. So for here, I've got my monocular, as well as my admin and nav type binder. I keep that right there because it's readily accessible. Also have some like alcohol wipes in there. In this pocket, I've got a rifle wrap. I think I've got a stripped MRE, and that's all I've got in that pocket right now because I don't necessarily need anything else in there. My boonie I would keep down in my lower pocket or in the upper pocket. I've got it on right now along with my gator. This pocket, I keep signal batteries. I went over this in the article, but all of that's right in here, and it's all tethered down. So like signal mirror, whistle, things like that are all right there and tethered in. That way I don't lose them. And you can either, honestly, you can leave these unbuttoned as long as you're not doing just like super strenuous bent over movement or something like that, because the harness helps keep the pockets basically shut and sealed off. And then my compass, I take out of the pocket that has my nav, loop it around my neck, necklace style, and it stays right there for when I need it. I'm trying to think of the other things that people brought up. The smock is a outer garment. So a lot of people get jammed up with like, well, why would I want an outer garment with all my stuff off if I'm going to take it off and put something else over it? Well, you're not. When it comes to layering, what you will do is you would undo your harness. So like say it's getting cold and I need to add a thermal layer, I would then unzip my top, swim out, put on my thermal layer, swim the top back on, all without taking the belt kit off. Or you can obviously take the belt kit off. It's situational dependent, but you can do that without ever having to take the belt off. You just, you'll obviously have some bunch of material above the belt harness, but it is what it is. So I think that's one of the jam ups, as well as people really focus on stuff like Gore-Tex layers. In my experience, Gore-Tex kind of sucks as far as a top piece. I do have Gore-Tex pants that I'll use in conjunction with a poncho if I'm in a stationary position, but they just generally suck for movement. They're loud, they trap heat and moisture a lot. So in my area, they kind of suck for anything but stationary movements or stationary times. So I don't think that you really need to do that. A poncho works really well, and a poncho can be thrown over the entire thing. Thermal layers, like I just talked about, unzip and throw on and zip it all back up. As far as ventilation goes, what I talked about in the article, these are mesh. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and. This is mesh, so this accompanied with the pit zip, and while you're moving, like I already feel the airflow. You can't feel this because it's a video and I'm here, but instantly I feel the airflow. And the only thing I have under this is a general t-shirt that I would use. because this is kind of how I would wear it in the summer, because it's going to be hotter. I wear it just like a filled top. I have a t-shirt and then this over it, and then I have any thermal layers and stuff in my ruck if I need to put them on. Chest rigs float kind of right in here. You don't wear them as high unless you just want to completely block access to the top pockets and then utilize the bottom pockets, but really you would want to wear it basically where the belt kit sits, about mid-abdomen. Again, this is not really designed for the gunfighter belts, the battle belts, to be used with a chest rig, because then you get a lot of binding on the sides. That's not really what it's designed for. With plate carriers, so plate carriers can be run one of two ways. Generally, the best option is a slit carrier that you would throw on kind of like how I showed you with the thermal layers. You would wear the plate carrier under the smock, zip the smock up over it, wear your harness over the top of that. That's really the ideal way of doing the plate carrier with a smock. However, what you can do if you wanted to, if you had pouches on the exterior of the plate carrier, would be just ditch everything from the pockets, move those to the plate carrier, throw the plate carrier on over the smock. That's not really ideal. You're then blocking the ventilation and stuff like that. I think the better way is to wear it under the smock. I can't think of anything else as far as things that were brought up. I'm sure other things are out there. Smocks are not for everyone. I'm not saying they are, but they're for more people than they think. They just really need to try them, and they don't need to try the 80s or 90s era 100% cotton, non-ventilated DPM stuff that's really designed for the cooler weather countries. I think that's where a lot of people screw up. They get those 100% cotton deals that have no ventilation whatsoever, and then put them on and then piss and moan about how they're hot and they don't breathe and they suck when they're wet. And they're not wrong, they're just not thinking about current options. One thing I brought up in the article was used as a partisan or frontiersman type of thing, where if you could grab one thing and go, this would give you the majority of your concealment. And that's kind of the thought process behind it for me. These are pants that I wear on the daily. I woke up, took a shower, put my clothes on. These are the pants that I wear. I wear them around for work. I wear them in town. They're earth tone. 90% of what I own and wear is earth tone because of that, as well as just my general person. But I can grab this smock, and I'll back up. Smock, boonie is stuffed in there. I would grab my helmet, hopefully, along with my belt kit, and I have got over half my body covered in a at least camouflage pattern that's disruptive and works in my environment. So with that, I don't have to worry about throwing on pants and throwing on this and throwing on that. I have one garment that has all of the stuff that I need, along with my belt kit. I can head out the door with that, and I'm covered for the vast majority of everything I need to do. So like I said, this is just kind of a follow-up video to the article. It'll be linked in the article, and hopefully it helps explain some of the things that I didn't really get to in the article itself. So anyways, take it easy, guys. Stay safe.